with the sound barrier. Completely negating it. Still, he's going to be holding the back. And McGravy got D-Mech there as he was a little bit too far forward. The mines are going to be stopping him from aggressing too hard here, but Dreamer's in trouble, and yeah, he's going to get ran down there. The micro missiles, Gargoyle do a decent chunk of damage. And they're going to flip this point over.
And Fate on the Winston is just so good at controlling this space, so Dreamer has had to make the swap off to mirror it.
McGravy means that nobody could really protect Dreamer there. He just gets taken out instantly. A lot of this is going to be on Shax to try and clutch, but he gets taken down as well. Yaki causing mayhem in the back line. So many kills going his way, and now the Florida Mayhem are even.
From KSP. Catches Chris, but he doesn't have the sound barrier anyway.
4 players getting catched by that, but it looks like Florida are going straight back in with one of their own. The Valiant are going to be opting to use that sound barrier, and that gives them the edge in this team fight. It's always going to be happening, of course. The sound barrier is just that kind of flowchart style of Overwatch where you're just going to be using it off the back of the EMP. And from that ult, play aggressive. The hack comes out. It's going to be catching on to Gargoyle. No one able to really just take him out and bring him down, but Gangnam Jim falls as he was using the Coalescence. Shax, the defender of the point, the sound barrier overlaid on top as BQB falls, means that there's no threat of the EMP being brought out whatsoever. Still, Florida Mayhem continue to fight on as the sound barrier is going to be used on their side of things. The health advantage might be enough to try and get them through. This might be enough to weather the storm, as Rain did get that kill onto Gargoyle. It's going to be making it so difficult, and that will mean that round number 1...
So is KSP.
Yep, and he just lets it go straight away. No messing around. BQB hacked up. If BQB goes down, oh, he's not going to be able to use the EMP for this fight, so the Valiant just about squeezed the win. Right, the moment when they needed it, but it will mean that now the
knockoffs here as well. Can't quite manage it. He's had to disengage. The Valiant have taken a lot of damage here, and Shax falls. Fate hacked up, but he's still pretty healthy. And the Florida Mayhem have just absorbed all of that aggression and shredded it.
That is such a fantastic fight there from the Florida Mayhem, because look at the ultimate P rolling forward. KSP only connecting it onto 2 targets, but 2 might be all he needs. Yaki falling in the process now. Dreamer just trying to push the players out of the back line. EMP comes through from Florida though, trying to turn this one now in their favor, but the players are not falling. McGravy still getting healed up. That bubble shield just helping him so much here. The hack not able to be pulled off here. Still Fate getting that pick. Sound barrier as well on top of that. The players just desperately dying onto the point. It's so scrappy, it's so back and forth, but the Florida Mayhem just barely holding on.
Yeah, they have just cleaned up this fight by the skin of their teeth. The ultimate's coming up.
Barrier comes through. BQB desperately trying to build up this EMP. He's finally got it. Will he let it go? He does indeed, but it only catches Lastro. And now Shax rolling it in with the Death Blossom. Trading out the kills. Yaki going to be falling here. The overtime will still tick. An opportunity maybe for the Florida Mayhem, but with that D-Mech, their hope will just dwindle more and more. Shax, again, shot after shot, going to be nailing on the opposition, and just like that.
If Yaki and Fate can stay alive, they'll have an EMP advantage here. McGravy hacked already.
Yeah, rolling it in, and look at this. EMP comes through straight away. That's that fast build time. Shax's going to be going down. McGravy following up as well as he was desuited. Already a tick on the board for Florida Mayhem, fully prepared. Early pick, you can see the sound barrier also layered out on top. Self-destruct not getting too much, but it does buy a bit of space now as the Valiant are forced to move forward, and that gives Fate an opportunity to get a lot of work done. Using that Primal Rage already, just trying to find a target or 2. It seems like the Florida Mayhem will be coming out on top of this team fight. If you lose this team fight, you've essentially swapped around the ult advantage.
Lastro hacked as well.
Yeah, the hack comes through. Self-destruct as well, but they're just cleaving through the opposition. And it's going to be an easy cap and a lost team fight for the Valiant here. I don't know if I agree with that read.
If needed. But I think the Valiant can just try and play aggressive with this. Rain, there we go. He's going to be able to pop it.
Yeah, Sound Barrier is going to be negating the EMP, but it comes out straight away from the Valiant as well. So, nice display there. Just building up the ultimates right in time. And of course, going to be stopping that push. I mean, with 4 minutes on the time back, they see if Dreamer can buy enough time for the rest of his team, but he's very low, has to back off in the end. BQB so close now to the EMP, just lets it go anyway. Only going to get it onto 2 targets, but 2 targets might be enough. Rain was one of them, and he got brought down early enough here, but McGravy trying to play the angles, seeing if he can contest at just the right moment. Will unfortunately pay with his life and his mech. Dreamer moving over to the wrecking ball just to try and stall this one out, but 3 minutes remaining. The Primal Rage battering the targets all over the place. The EMP does connect, but Florida Mayhem are well prepared, as the sound barrier is going to be an instant answer and response. And that's a very, very clean showing from the Florida Mayhem. Not holding back any punches, but just trying to pepper each other from afar. Build up these
Dreamer
ultimates.
was hacked.
Dreamer getting hacked, but it does fade. And now he's, oh wow, deleted. Great spot there, Josh, finding that one, but a Coalescence as well on top of will mean that the Florida Mayhem, I mean, it's just an instant team fight win. As soon as Dreamer dies there, your chance of winning it just goes matched as well from the other side, as BQB has his, and it's going to be an instant trigger pull, but the 6-man EMP comes out from KSP. Is there anyone left to follow up on this? The Coalescence is going to be used, but the players are so low. McGravy's gone. Dreamer taken out of the fight. Yaki? Okay. Ends up using a Death Blossom there. Will pay for it with his life. I don't know. The Valiant still feel like this might be winnable. McGravy was being kept alive for a short while, but eventually forced down, focused down.
That EMP did nothing from KSP. Absolutely nothing. They hacked up Fate while they were in Primal, and only now have they been able to get rid of him. Counter EMP comes out now, and Dreamer and McGravy are both weak. This could still be a win for Florida. They've got ults coming up.
They take out one tank, and despite the player advantage being in the way of the Valiant, they have a lot of health working for them. Dreamer's still alive though, and now the Death Blossom in close quarters, trying to bring him down, you can't. Shax will be losing his life, and now the time just dribbling down to the bare seconds. Oh wow. Rain forced to just try and contest it, but it is not going to be happening. The pile driver preempted just to try and knock KSP up as he tried to contest. There's only one player remaining, it's McGravy, and he does not stand that much of a chance. The self-destruct to try and stall it out, but no one really on the point to try and stop this one. It's just going to be a matter of time before this map is going to be over. A couple of players still just trying to make their mark. Not good enough. The Florida Mayhem, I mean, this capture already going to be up to 2 ticks here. Just going to test it, but I believe that just went over the mark, and the EMP is going to stop them dead in their tracks. Fate unable to really help the rest of his team, but it's going to be the double support ults committed now. Florida Mayhem not messing around, but they have used almost everything at their disposal. I've got honestly not too much to show for it, because Valiant's still holding on, and with this, they're going to get a very decent cap, and they're going to be rolling deep.
And now they've got a massive ult advantage heading into this, and Fate is the one that has been hacked. KSP coming out with that immediate pick onto the tank.
Snowball.
Fate didn't even have his Primal available.
Oh, the snowball potential is so high as well, but they played it so well. The Primal Rage working out in their favor. Just because of that hack, Josh, what you were talking about, Florida Mayhem may be able to come back in here. They have the EMP necessary. Shax loses the 1v1 against Yaki on the flank. That's a critical pick. See if they can convert it into anything else. BQB being pressured so heavily, does not want to be using that EMP just yet. EMP comes through. BQB finding a couple of targets, but only on the tanks. But the longer this fight goes, the better it will be for the Florida Mayhem, and you find it just like that. Dreamer falling means that the rest of the team do not have the positioning, and they were forced back as that fight progressed.
Very close though. The Valiant at many points there could have turned that fight and been able to get
pace for his life in the end. Valiant are really stalling this one out. I mean, it was looking a bit unorthodox from them in terms of their approach to this fight, but the Death Blossom from Shax might be big, but Gargoyle answering back with 2. The self-destruct, his team finding the pickoffs, both the supports down. You might as well just call it quits right there.
They used all of their ultimates.
Florida getting through this one, and KSP just wants to unleash it anyway. Okay. Didn't catch him on the Wraith on there, but yeah, they do get the pick onto Yaki regardless of default hack onto Fate just to keep him out of this fight whilst it progresses onwards. The Coalescence from Lastro is doing a decent amount of work, just chunking down the enemies, a consistent amount of healing for his team as well. And Gangnam Jim cannot do anything. He had the Coalescence, but it was not enough. The Valiant now with 2 minutes. Push continues now from the Florida Mayhem. They are unrelenting, moving down. The Valiant going to be using that EMP, but it only catches onto 1 target. KSP not getting anybody with it. Gangnam Jim was just hacked up for a moment, but Florida Mayhem perfectly happy to just bear it, wait it out. Now they can try and win this default fight, and BQB is going to be able to hold on to his EMP.
Yeah, that wasn't a particularly good EMP coming out from KSP. He's played well when it came.
Just to try and counter the EMP, it works out brilliantly. The Florida Mayhem are just happy to back off here away from this team fight. See if they can get a pick or 2. Gargoyle hacked up on the side here. An opportunity here as Shax moves in with the Death Blossom. He's going to be finding 1 kill. Might even get that D-Mech as well, or at least assist for it, as the self-destruct was committed. The Florida down to Shax means that they can play as ordered as they were hoping for.
But
Look at this, it's the backline, the EMP not coming to any of, really anything at all. And now the Florida Mayhem happy to capitalize.
What happened?
Jumping straight onto it, I am not too sure. KSP may have been forced away, but now in the tail moments of this team fight, only a couple of players remain. And this EMP is going to be, again, cleaning them all up, stopping them in their tracks. And the Florida Mayhem, you thought that the Valiant had a good time. Well, Florida Mayhem just biding their time once more, waiting for the right opportunity to go in. The ults have faded. The hack comes through onto Yaki, though. He won't be able to do much, but fortunately, the Hellfire Shotgun's not going to be disabled. Valiant now going to be losing a player in the end. It's a 1-for-1 trade, almost getting this. The overtime ticking. Florida Mayhem have to commit bodies now. Self-destructs being traded here. Or at least one of them being used now as McGravy tries to push them away from the point. Still the overtime ticks. The kill, finally KSP going down. The Florida Mayhem may have just found an opening that they're looking for here. Dreamer just has to dodge that hack. Coming back in, BQB so close to the EMP. Commits it anyway. Not going to be finding anything. Everyone hacked up, but the Florida Mayhem now using that sound barrier still. This fight continues. The Valiant not willing to give it up. Defense Matrix perfect from McGravy. He's going to be eating up the Death Blossom, not letting him get away with any sort of murder. And that was so
big ults to be able to work with. The sound barrier pushes them forwards, and KSP's close to another EMP. If he doesn't get manually hacked out of it, he should be able to secure his team the win.
Yeah, but he has the EMP. He has to translocate back away from the self-destruct, but the Valiant have played this perfectly. They use all the cooldowns. The EMP comes through. Only connects onto Chris. This could be an opening now from the Florida Mayhem. They may have just found it, what they were looking for. The hack comes through onto Shax. They take him down. He can't reform out of it. The Florida Mayhem finding the answers right when they needed them. And Gangnam Jim just the opening pickoffs coming through with the Coalescence. 2 picks. He will die to the self-destruct. This could provide at least one option for the Valiant to try and turn this one around, but it's not going to be enough, and that will mean that they are stopped just shy. Low. Yeah, he got hacked up there, so he didn't have the bubble available, could not mitigate any of that damage. And he is so patient, so cautious from both these teams, but finally the Coalescences are brought up, and Fate taken out. The EMP committed by KSP, the Valiant holding on. Now they're going to be cleaning up the rest of these players, and KSP, the important thing is he didn't die in this fight, which means he's building up even more of his EMP during the tail end of it.
Very good play, though, from the Valiant.
Unfortunately, didn't pay off. They were too far away. EMP from BQB, but who does he commit it onto? Surely doesn't want to use it here. The default hack, very intelligent. Stopping Dreamer right away, and now Fate. That gives him ample opportunities. Moving into Death Blossom. Yaki finding one. Rain goes down, and he died with the sound barrier. BQB not even having to use his EMP. The Florida Mayhem going to be capping up this point now with the opportunity to just snowball it even further through. Fate using that Primal Rage, and now you can see the aggression from Valiant. They're leading it in with the Coalescence. They need to get an early pick. They recognize they have to take some risks with this. The EMP is going to be connecting onto a couple of targets, but Rain instantly coming through with the sound barrier. Shax with 2 kills. It's a clean team fight win, and only 18 seconds remaining for the Florida Mayhem to find any response. Anyone's going to be capable of touching. Chris is going to be making the approach, but look at that, the boop away.
He got booped.
The boop. Cannot body block him. Chris will get the overtime going, but Fate has already fallen. KSP with 2. The overtime trickling down. No one else will touch. No one else will help the Florida Mayhem.
Now from KSP and Lastro, he's going to have that Coalescence to be able to counter here in just a second.
Bubbles
Dreamer
down.
can survive.
Dreamer's dead. And Dreamer hacked up. Fate now his turn to be hacked up in the end. Gargoyle coming in with the self-destruct. Why not? 2 more kills off the back of it, and now the Florida Mayhem, surely they're going to be set up to succeed here. Fate as well, surviving on a sliver of HP is going to be a big difference maker. You might not even think it, but it means that Gangnam Jim can build himself a bit of an advantage in this fight, but can they convert it into any kills? That's the important factor that we need to consider here. Once again, more ultimates being popped off as Fate's just trying to disrupt in the backline with his Primal Rage. The self-destruct from Gargoyle, again getting a kill. KSP going down. How many times has Gargoyle got value out of that bomb? It seems so many this series long, and he saved his team once again. Making sure they chunk down remnants of Valiant.
Valiant are close to ult.
Yeah, Valiant now using that Coalescence, but getting hacked out of it. Lastro not going to be able to get it all off. Still, Shax moving forward, has the Death Blossom as well. Look at this, the Defense Matrix coming through from Gargoyle, but not enough to keep him standing. The Death Blossom committed just so that he can take him out. He'll just take out Yaki in the end. And finally the Valiant are going to be clutching that one.
This is Soundbar and Fate stays alive. Gonna be able to build up to that primal rage as well. And Yaki, he's in the pack. He's getting shunted down into the basement layer at the moment here.
Oh, no.
But he unleashes his Death Blossom to take down McGravy. This is gonna be a fight win for the Florida Mayhem. And you can tell just in the normal engagements, Florida have the advantage. But when it comes down to those crucial fights that they must win, it's long.
Going to be buying a bit of space for them this time, but it's going to be McGravy answering back. The translator comes through. Somebody needs a touch! Oh my goodness, McGravy self-destruct, pushing them away. And that gives Valiant all the space in the world just to glide it into that second checkpoint. What a disaster!
And McGravy says C9 lulls.
Oh, magical warfare has been inflicted right now. Maybe breaking a bit of the Geneva Convention, but the sound barrier from Chris just to try and save his team. The one-for-one trade in the end, and finally, yeah, Dreamer goes down, the D-Mech on McGravy, so Florida Mayhem are going to be able to hold on to that one just by committing the ultimates at the right time. Chris found a nice opening for that one. Oh, the orb taking out McGravy as well, why not? Going into the overtime, someone needs to touch this cart right now. Just about drifting by it there. I believe Dreamer touched it with his leap, and now he's going to be paying with his life because of it. A couple of players remaining, but not for much longer. Rain has the sound barrier, but he's going to be coming late into this fight when so many players are down. Might be able to get it off to give Shax a bit more extra life. Probably not going to be occurring though, and the EMP will clear them all out. Stopped just short of that third checkpoint. But now out of the raid form, and the team is going to be engaging back onto them. Is that going to be a D-Mech? It is. McGravy out of the mech. One more tank gone now for the Valiant. The Florida Mayhem have a huge advantage in this. An early primal rage built up. The coalescence as well. It looked like that was all gravy for the Florida Mayhem, but unfortunately he left their team a long time ago.
Very true, very true.
Great position to try and aggress onto them when they don't have that Moira left standing, but they're doing a good job of just backing off. Sound barrier now used by Chris, still backing off. Finally, the picks are going to be going their way. But at what cost here, Josh? Because 2 minutes remaining, they're only halfway through checkpoint A. It's going to be one more contest here from the Valiant to touch this point. They're going to get this overtime going right now. Fate, though, hacked up on the cart, can't go anywhere. KSP takes out Gangnam Jim, and BQB comes through the EMP. Will there be the follow-up? Dreamer falls, the sound barrier as well. Surely this should be it now for the Florida Mayhem. The players will crumble and topple, but it was so difficult. The Florida Mayhem had to fight tooth and nail to try and make it this far. A couple of dregs from the Valiant as they just try and contest this slowly, buying as much time as possible for the spawners, for their players to get out of there. With the EMP, they've already got 2 picks though. Are they going to be able to capitalize on this? And KS was forced to translocate out of it. The bomb into the back line, but unfortunately not enough to catch them. And Florida Mayhem, they look in charge of this fight. A much better EMP from them will basically stagger a lot of these targets, and the Valiant now. It's a classic maneuver, we've seen it twice now! Gargoyle's bomb buying so much space and no one but Valiant can touch.
Huge control over the positioning there from the Florida Mayhem. They had the high ground, and they apply with the C9 low!
Oh my goodness.
This is a true... BQB, 68% of his EMP. KSP immediately in. That catches 3. Chris there with the response, but it's too late.
Yep.
Fate has already fallen. Couldn't use his primal rage either. Can they get the punish?
Oh, what a bomb from McGravy as well, just to force them all back, and it forces the cooldowns as well. Yaki no longer has the raid form. He can't play aggressively in the front line, but he's going to TP there anyway. He wants to try and seal it. He's on the high ground. Booped away now. The Death Blossom gets nothing. It absolutely gets nothing, but it matters not. The Florida Mayhem ripping forwards. The EMP layered on top, and they will push that card in. So for the Valiant, we'll see what they can do with this one. Streamer just dives into the backline again with the Primal Rage, trying to disjoint them. Fate goes down pretty early on here. The EMP was committed, and Jim's still hacked up, but will be actually just backing out of this fight as well, because his team ended up losing it. Look at the air, so he didn't even get it off. That is so brutal, man. So brutal. And yet the Valiant still hold strong. Finding the pick here onto BQB, making sure this team fight goes the distance. And Dreamer with the Primal Rage, he takes out Chris this time.
That is an unbelievable clutch play from Fate, but it doesn't make the difference overall. They get it to 99%, which is definitely in their credit. And they do have
sound barrier. So high level, and now we see another play being made. What a great pincer maneuver there from the Florida Mayhem as they just try and wrap around with the coalescence, but it's not good enough. The Valiant had a much better answer to it. They end up coming out later with the coalescence, they pump in enough damage, and they're able to just find a few targets. A very necessary team fight win considering the advantage they were in. One loss. Meantime, while all this was going down, no way, the tail end of that Primal Rage phase still gets the kill. What a player. And at the tail end of his Primal Rage, he's going to be able to glide to safety to the rest of his team, clean up the stragglers. The bubble placed gently on top of the self-destruct means that nobody will be falling down to that ultimate in the overtime. Well, only a couple of players remain to stop it, but it's not enough. The Florida Mayhem taking the first round in map 5. KSP now, hopefully his team's in position, and now he's going to let it loose. It connects onto 4 targets, exactly what they needed. And that's all off the back of KSP finding the openings, finding the opportunities to just pump in that consistent tickle damage.
Yeah, really phenomenal play by him. He built up the first...
Chris, the lone warrior hacked up, just trying to escape here, but he's being chased down on every single front. The overtime now still ticking, and the players are coming back in with the ultimates. Florida, they have to pull out some sort of miracle to try and turn this one now, but BQB falls, unable to get EMP off. Lastro follows it up, and as soon as KSP is in position, you notice EMP is getting let loose straight away. And there you go. The overtime will still burn, as there's only 1 or 2 players still left remaining on the point, Josh, but it is pretty much done and dusted at this point. We are truly going to be going the distance here in this map.
Yeah, this is going to be final round, final map territory here between the Florida Mayhem and the Los Angeles.
Cap will have an enormous advantage, but you cannot give up bodies either. Still, Fate falls early on. They're capable of trading it out. It doesn't look like it. No players in position. The Coalescence comes out from both of these teams, but it's a fast EMP from BQB this time, trying to take it straight to them with aggression. They're only able to get 1 kill onto Dreamer, but they do not cap the point. The Valiant are going to be in control of this one for now. 20% away from the EMP, and again, an aggressive EMP is going to be met with a defensive sound barrier as Chris tries to save his team, but the damage is done. The sound barrier might just save you with the health, but eventually they focus the fire down, and BQB finally unleashes the EMP of his own, but it's too little too late. All the players have fallen. No one remains from the Florida Mayhem here. The Valiant holding strong, Josh. Are probably smiling right now in the final moments of this round. BQB falls early. That's a great opening, a wonderful opportunity. And now to dive in from Dreamer. Wants to try and set his team up for success. Self-destruct coming in. The Coalescence doing so much work as Yaki will fall. Another player down. The sound barrier concatenated on top. You're finding it. They're getting the heals. They're getting the support necessary, and no one can touch. No one can stand up to them. The Los Angeles Valiant.